60 Minutes with Angela starts right now.
In 2015, in the run-up to Nigeria's presidential elections, Muhammadu Buhari, the then presidential candidate of Nigeria's ruling party, the All Progressives Congress, was preaching a message of change. Today, it is almost 3 years since he was sworn in as president, and for want of a better word to use, most Nigerians seem to be disappointed with the administration of a man they say tried to become president 3 times before now. And if you thought the elections were vicious in 2015, brace yourselves. 2019 elections will, in my opinion, be the most vicious Nigeria has ever seen. On what grounds, therefore, is President Muhammadu Buhari seeking a second term? Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Angela Ajetumobi. He's a global human rights activist, a senior advocate of Nigeria since July 2017, and recently appointed Director of Strategic Communication of Muhammadu Buhari's 2019 election bid. FESTUS Keyamo joins me on the program today. Thank you very much, Mr. Keyamo, for coming on 60 Minutes with me.
Thank you for inviting me.
You know, I thought hard about how to start this interview.
Let me help you start before you start. I want to correct your introduction.
Yes.
Because there are some subtle messages at times we pass with, you know, the things we say, even as journalists, because people see journalists as the pathfinders for them.
Yes.
You said most people are not satisfied that this is the change.
Yes.
It is not most people. It's the babble of voices you are hearing. The ordinary people, people I have interacted with, most people are satisfied that we are having change. So I just want to correct that, Angela.
We will see.
It is not most people are satisfied.
We will see.
Yes.
Because as far as I'm concerned,
you don't have any statistics by which you judge that. And I just want to tell people that these are some of the subtle messages they are passing around the country, and they are using it to shape the mentality of people. We want to reshape
their thinking.
Yes, to shape their mentality.
The jury is still out.
You just dropped it quietly, but it has a lot of implications. You say most people are saying, and it is not most.
The jury is still out on that.
Still out.
The jury is still out on whether or not he has performed.
But
the first thing is, I can't believe you took this job, you know, Director of Strategic Communication. Honestly, you know, people are saying probably you have been promised the post of Attorney General when Buhari comes back in 2019. You're known as a human rights activist from the school of the late Gani Fawehinmi, that is those who take on government. And no one can believe that you would take this appointment.
You have just mentioned Gani Fawehinmi.
Yes.
I did not mention him, you mentioned him. So if that is your standard flag bearer, then you have just missed the point. Gani fought all governments in his lifetime.
Yes.
He supported only one.
Which one was that?
Muhammadu Buhari. 84-85. That was the only government Gani Fawehinmi supported all his life.
Yes.
And guess what? It's the same kind of reaction some people are giving her that people gave then. You mentioned him, Gani Fawehinmi.
Yes.
Do you know that he was suspended by the NBA? He was blacklisted as a result of Buhari's support for Buhari's policies at that time. He was blacklisted. That's what people don't know. Because he was extremely happy and supportive of the anti-corruption stance of President Muhammad Buhari. And for him, at that time, every other thing paled into insignificance. Just like it has for me now. There are human faults there, but they pale into insignificance because our central problem is corruption. And guess what? 22 years later, so it was not just a flash in the pan, that it was just 84, 85, and then he did not know him well. 22 years down the line, in 2007, when Buhari was campaigning again, Gani came again out of his shells and endorsed him. You were a journalist then. I'm sure you followed it at that time. I've seen some very, I mean, for lack of better word to use, and I apologize, silly comments. They are silly comments I have read. Where people say that, well, if he's alive now, he would have done this. With this thing happening, he would have. You are talking about what he would have done. I am telling you what he did.
At the time.
I'm telling you what he did. You are telling me what he would have done.
So tell us why you took this appointment. You've talked about corruption.
Let me tell you
Many people would say that that corruption war is warped. If you're in the president's party, your sins are forgiven. In fact, the story out there now is if you're facing corruption charges, all you need to do is move to the ruling party, and that case will just,
you're wrapping two questions in one. So we need to take it one by one. We have to be careful to separate them. You said, why did I take it?
Why did you take it?
And then this one now. You see, there's a tug of war going on. The masses don't understand that there's a real tug of war going on in this country now. Between the corrupt and those who want to fight corruption. But they are coming in all subtle forms. Those who are in support of corruption are coming in the subtle form of human rights, rule of law. We must follow the rule of law in the fight against corruption.
What is wrong with following the rule of law?
Let me follow.
What is wrong with following the rule of law?
They're not following the rule of law, but they are wrapping it around that. They are wrapping it and pretend. You see a lot of people who pretend to be activists, and then the people will be easily deceived. Yes, because these are the voices they see. These are the people that are the standard bearer for them. They are the ones speaking up against government because they think that they are not fighting corruption, by the books and all of that. And some of us who have the power of discernment, some of us who can see beyond the headlines, we know what is going on. We know it's a war by corrupt people. And so you know what? We'll rather seek to be on this side, to protect and support. Use our small voices to protect and encourage what government is doing. Because you see, if any government at all, anybody at all for that matter, Okonjo-Iweala, I just said so, attempts to fight corruption, the kind of opposition you get is always vicious. It's vicious. And that is what you are saying now. So you see, you think that government's an octopus that does not need support. Government will do it alone. Government can be easily discouraged. If they are fighting and everybody is pummeling them and there's no single voice supporting them, government can just fizzle out and say, look, you know what? We are just tired because everybody is opposed to us. Everybody, let's just pack up and go. And so some of us have decided that it's not going to happen. And so we want to form a shield around government. I want you to take my hand. I want you to take my hand. That kind of shield people form around people. We are forming a shield around the president to encourage his dogged determination to deal with these people once and for all. And we are using it to match those voices who think that they want to return corruption by subtle means. We want to balance the equation. I am here to balance that equation. I am here to let everybody know that those voices you are hearing, they are not voices of human rights. Those voices you are hearing, they are not voices of rule of law. Those are voices of corruption speaking in veiled terms. I don't want to be part of that bandwagon. You know why people are angry with me? Some people, they want me to join evil against good. They want me to be on that side. And when I be on that side, you know what happens normally? The real people who want to take over power, they hide behind those people. They say, talk to them, criticize them. But those people who are criticizing, they don't have the capacity to take over power. You know that? They don't have the wherewithal. So they use you as a front to criticize, push them, call them, and then they laugh and sneak into power. And they even shove you aside. They have done the job for them. I am not a fool, Angela. I'm not an idiot. I know the game that is going on. And I will not fall for that game. I am resolute. I am determined. I am focused in what I'm doing. It's not a cheap decision. It's not a flimsy decision. It's a very determined decision I have taken. And I will pursue it to the end. I owe nobody any apology at all. I owe nobody. And back to what we are saying about why would you do this? 15 million Nigerians voted for the president. Are you aware of that? 15 million. Those are the masses you are fighting for. And that is the mandate they gave to the president. He's fighting their cause. He's fighting the cause of those downtrodden people. He is proceeding against the rich in protection of the poor. He's taking money from, look at the people they are throwing in cell, they are recovering monies from. The oil thieves, those who took Dazuki's money. Is he not fighting for the masses? Is he not fighting for the masses? He's recovering what money belongs to them. Then you now tell me to oppose that. If I do that, I'm even going against what I have stood for all my life.
Let's talk about the corruption.
I am fighting for those 15 million people.
Let's talk about the corruption war, because you've gone into the corruption war.
Yes.
What is your response to those who say, first of all, it's warped? There's no significant member of the APC, the president's party, who's been tried.
Don't go to the next question. Let me finish.
Yes.
Because you see, take him segment by.
Yes.
That's one. I need to answer that one
yes.
first. The recoveries we are doing now are recoveries of most of those people who stole money between 2011 and 2015.
Right.
The oil chiefs, those who took money for campaigns. Those are the trials going on now. The service chiefs at that time who diverted money meant for Boko Haram.
Yes.
These are the recoveries going on. The president has not gone back to 1978. He's left those areas alone. He's not gone back to 1985. Yeah. He's not gone back to 1988. If not, Babangida will be in jail. Yes. He's not gone back to 1999. Because if he goes back to 1999, Obasanjo will be in jail. He has just concentrated between 2011 and 2015. Now you tell me, between 2011 and 2015, tell me anybody within the president's circle now, or ministers, his inner circle, his cabinet, that served between 2011 and 2015, one that they ought to recover money from. Tell me one. So when people mention something 1,000 times,
yes,
you begin to think it is true. But the facts don't add up. I just told you now. Because it is those who stole that you recover from. The president will not wake up and say, because I want to balance sensitivity, because I want to balance criticism, I want to reply to criticism, I will just come and say, Angela, I want to pick you too, so that people will not think that I am being sectional. Yeah. Because you didn't do anything, Angela. You just did not do anything. So those within the president's circle, those within the president's circle now, at the federal level, you can easily mention some ministers who were governors.
What about Mena? What about Babachir Lawal? People say those cases have gone to sleep.
Is Mena the president's appointee? He's a civil servant and he's out of office now. No, hold on.
Nobody has been sanctioned for the surreptitious reinstatement of Mena into office.
But I'm looking for him because you need his evidence at times to know what he did, because that's the principal suspect. You don't know that in law you need the evidence of the principal suspect. You need him. Let him spill the beans. Let him come out of hiding. And the government they declared him wanted, didn't they? They put his pictures in the papers. So they are not hiding anything. Hold on, if you know where he is now, let us know. They have declared him wanted. What else can they do with that? Babacha, you heard Magu last week speak? Magu said nobody has told him to stop investigation. They removed him from office. Once he has been removed from office, the story dies there. Let me tell you why. Because if you have 1,000 governments today, different governments, you will have 1,000 different cases of corruption. I hope you know that.
Yes.
You can't stop it. So you can't say that a government is coming from heaven. Once it comes, there will be no single case corruption. It must be there. What's the difference? The difference is how government reacts to the corruption cases. That's what makes the difference between one and one. It's not like the past government where everybody was seeing the Ziani spill money all over the world. They saw the private jets, they saw the yachts, they saw the prowls abroad. But the man could not summon the will to remove her from office till the end. Now international opprobrium has come. She's being investigated everywhere in the world. But Jonathan saw this. He could not act. He didn't have the temerity to do what he needed to do. But this president has both the will, he has the temerity, he has the firmness, he has the political freedom. Nobody's holding him down.
Another sore point. You talked about those who received money for elections. That's a sore point, Mr. Keyamo. Listen, if I'm working for the president and I'm giving funds towards running an election, you know that elections cost money. You've been through an election yourself. Why are you charging people who received monies
so you don't understand what's going on?
I don't.
They took money from public purse. Money meant for arms.
Let's use
hold on. Let me finish.
Yes.
Money meant to protect their people. The $2.1 billion.
Yes.
It was meant to buy equipment.
But how do I know?
They took money directly from them.
I am a recipient. I'm in Lagos State. Yes. I'm fighting for this election within Lagos East.
Yes.
I'm giving 2 million or whatever. How do I know it is stolen money?
You just asked the most beautiful question. Now that you know, refund it. Now you know.
Yes.
You didn't know at that time. Oh, no problem. Now that you know, refund it.
What has been
because
expended.
you know why? Because when I steal a car and I sell to you, it's stolen property.
Yes.
Oh yes, you didn't know it was stolen property, you buy the car. And then later it comes out, oh, this car is stolen property. The first thing you do is say, you can't be driving around stolen property. You can't. You can't hold on to stolen property when you know it is stolen property. Refund it. And that is why we are saying, refund these monies. I'm sorry. Because these monies belong to the people of Nigeria. So nobody should confuse the Nigerian people. This is the situation we find ourselves. The monies you now know they are stolen, refund them.
Mr. Keyamo.
Yes.
Now, still on this election thing, who are the big guns that this administration will say they have succeeded in convicting? We hear about trials going on in the papers. There's a bit of rush and hula baloo, and then the thing just dies a natural death.
Nothing has died a natural death. The executive has done its best.
Which is?
Expose them and charge them to court. The rest is a function of the judiciary. The executive cannot go and breathe down the backs of the necks of the judiciary that you have to do this as quickly as possible. They have to follow their process. And I'll tell you that it's even going faster than it used to be before. Because
has
of the
prosecution improved?
Oh yes, because of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act now. You know that it is going faster than it should go.
Yes.
And then without mentioning name, let me just say this really on the side. Is it government that is stalling some of these trials? You see people flip-flopping everywhere, falling down. Once they are charged, they develop the most contagious diseases ever.
Yes.
They are falling down everywhere. You see them, don't you? And they're everywhere. You know, let us not deceive the masses of this country.
Yes.
Government wants to do its job, but all of a sudden, they end up in wheelchairs and stretchers and everywhere because they don't want the trial to go on. And then tomorrow, it's these same people that will turn around. These same people behind them say, why are you not convicting anybody? Why are you not finishing the trials? It's a contradiction, isn't it? It's a contradiction.
I'll take you back to 2011 and a statement allegedly uttered by President Buhari at the time. He says he will be president for only one term. Even if he said those words in 2011, can't we hold a man to his words? I know that you're going to come at me saying it's a right that the Constitution bestows upon him to do a second term.
Why are you preempting me?
No, but you see, I'm taking the wind out of your sails here because this is the same kind of promise Goodluck Jonathan made allegedly at the time.
When you make election promises, you make them on a platform of what? We run a party system, don't we? So when you make election promises, you make them on the platform of your party. In 2011, what platform did he run upon? He ran upon the platform of the CPC. In 2015, he didn't run upon that platform. So the new platform that gave him a new mandate altogether. So it is not an issue. You're just raising an issue that is dead, really. Yes. He ran on a different platform in 2015 and different calculations at that time. Because of the very sensitive nature of this country and the balancing and all that, so many things can affect your decision at a point. But once that is gone, it is really gone at that time. Did he make that promise in 2015? That was when he got this mandate. Did he? He didn't make that promise in 2015. So it is really not an issue at all.
Join us again after the break. Welcome back. It's still 60 Minutes with me, Angela Ajetumobi. On my hot seat today, the Director of Strategic Communication for Nigeria's President, Muhammadu Buhari, going into the 2019 presidential election. He's lost critical support of, for want of a better word to use, I would say his initial group of army officers, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, former President Ibrahim Babangida. Their support was critical in 2015. They've both been categorical about asking this president not to seek a second term. Yet he's going ahead. Why?
Here and now, let me correct one impression. Obasanjo and Babangida never supported Buhari in 2015. Show me one comment where he said vote for him. One. Google. So we twist history to support anything we like. So let me place it on record now.
Yes.
That with all sense of apologies and respect, these are cowardly statements by these people, by these elders. They are cowardly statements to say they supported. They did not support. I did not see one one statement by Obasanjo. In fact, 3 weeks to the election, remember, he didn't want to be caught on the spot. He didn't want to be put on the spot. I remember Obasanjo kept saying, I have not declared my support for any candidate. He kept saying so. Though he has told the virtues of Buhari.
Yes.
He has told, but he never said vote for him. What he did was to demonize PDP, I agree. And so he may have subtly shifted the mentality of people towards APC, his people. But really, which people did he have? Which catchment area? Hold on, Obasanjo lost Yoruba land in 1999. His own people, he could not deliver them. So who is he seeking to convince now not to vote for Buhari? Because he never had any catchment area.
He says it is
because
time to...
the same people who gave him the votes.
He says he wants to rescue Nigeria.
From who? Did he rescue Nigeria from himself when he was in government? Did he rescue Nigeria from himself at that time? A man who called everybody together without sense of respect to him. Called everybody together and began to collect money from known contractors of government and every beneficiaries of contracts and all that to build his public library. Is that an honest person? A person who bought shares in a Nikon Hilton under a blind trust? Is that an honest person?
Are you saying his support is not needed for this administration?
His support would amount to 2 votes, himself and the wife perhaps. Because some of the children are not with him, we know that publicly. So his support will be 2 votes, and we regret we've lost those votes. We'll gain them somewhere else. We just regret we lost those 2 votes.
What about the support of IBB?
It's 1 vote we've lost.
What is your job as the Director of Strategic Communication?
To tell and smash to pieces these lies that you are projecting, you are asking me now. There's so much lies around, going on around. You see, he's not a person that is too politically correct. He's not somebody that some story comes out, he's on edge because he's always the guilty that are afraid. So when you accuse him of this, he's on edge trying to clear it. The guilty are afraid. He's not he's not trying to be overly politically correct. He takes things with equanimity, with calmness at times. And so some of these lies traveled a long way before the truth puts on his shoes to go after it. But guess what? Just like it's happening now on this program, with 1 step, the truth catches up with all the lies that have traveled for the last 3 years. Because the facts don't just add up at times. The facts don't add up. Maybe you don't want to go to some areas that they talk lies about. Like his clannishness. They say he's clannish.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Nepotism. It looks like he has no friends outside of the northern region.
Let me tell you this, Angela. Do you know that the federal cabinet is made up of 36 ministers? Or thereabouts. 18 of them are Christians, 18 of them are Muslims. And then the head of service and the SGF are Christians. So you have more Christians in the federal cabinet than even Muslims in the federal cabinet. Some people have been projecting this issue of service chiefs. The service chiefs are in one area.
All the security forces.
Do you know that before I come to some of the security chiefs, the service chiefs, do you know that 2 of them are from the north, 2 from the south? The service chief.
Chief of Army Staff.
Chief of Air Staff, Chief of Naval Staff, and Chief of Defense Staff. 2 are from the north, 2 are from the south. Now, the criticism has been that, oh well, the director of SSS, NIA, they are from the north. And so, there's no southerner there. Now, guess what? The economic team, there's no northerner there. The economic team, you have almost all of them south. 7 of them, 2 of them from the middle belt. You have the CBN governor south, the vice president who heads it south,
finance minister
south, Enelama from East Trade south, all of them, most of them south. There's no one core northerner, not one in the northwest, not seen from the Economic Council, which is at the heart of the economy. Have you seen them complaining? Have you seen them? Because we have a persecution complex. So the president, seeing all his appointments, his general, seeing it from a bird's eye view, he knows how to balance it up. He may over-concentrate some areas on this side he over-concentrate some areas. Because he needs to take an overall picture of everything, all his appointments, not to just pick one small area and concentrate on that area. That is the problem facing us, because we do have a persecution complex. But you'll be surprised, the statistics I just gave you now. It's unfortunate, but people have repeated it 2 million times. Nepotism, nepotism, nepotism. Nobody's replying them. And some people go to sleep, say the president is actually nepotistic. But it's just a lie. It is a lie. It is a lie. I want to establish here today. I want people to know that it is a lie. It is not true.
What about his alleged hatred of Igbos? I mean, there are no Igbos, they say, in the top echelon of the cabinet, with what we call the juicy ministers.
The 4 Igbo ministers are senior ministers. Do you realize that? 4 out of 5 of them. They are not ministers of states. They are senior ministers. The North, Connaught he comes from, has 7 junior ministers. Is that not a shock to you? Minister of State all over the North. 7 junior ministers. And he has 5 of the senior ministers. Only 1 junior minister from the East. I met one Igbo chap recently, and he said, look, let him confess to me. I don't like PMB. I don't like Buhari. I just don't like him. But in the last 3 years, there is no government in Nigeria's history that for the first 3 years of the government coming into being has moved into the East with this kind of infrastructural development. He said none in the history of Nigeria. He said, but he just woke up and said, but I don't just like Buhari. And I just laughed and I said, you know, the greatest bias one can get in life is to hate something that you have not known about. That is the greatest bias you can have. Yes. The second Niger Bridge, now go and see the work going on there. In the last 16 years of PDP, with all the earnings they had from oil, with everything, all the monies, excess crude, the second Niger Bridge was only a design on the table. Was only architectural design. Yes. They were showing people design. Yes. Hold on. Look at what is going on with the Sukuk. You know, they gave the Sukuk bond. Yes. They gave them 16-point-something billion too. Yes. Look, it's going on from the Port Harcourt Enugu, yes, section 123 of the Port Harcourt Enugu Expressway. The Enugu on the Cha Expressway too is going on with that fund. Did you see the vice president in area market last week? Did you see what the traders said in area market? They were going ballistic. Why? They said because of the special nature of Aba and the special nature of traders there who will need electricity, they need power to do all the industrial, you know, things they do in Aba. They give them light from 7 o'clock in the morning to 5:30 in the evening. Constant light. Guarantee. Guarantee. And they were just going ballistic when they saw the vice president. They were just ecstatic. This is the kind of special intervention that has been brought into the Southeast. Now they have just signed the rail line that will run through from the Southeast to Maiduguri. Yes. It is just coming on board now. No government has taken care of the Igbos than this. And I just sit and ask myself at times, I said, how did this other government, how did they manage to bewitch these people? Because they just didn't do anything for them. In 16 years, the PDP just didn't do anything for the Igbos. They just keep playing on their intelligence, just whipping up ethnic, religious, especially religious, because they know they are predominantly Christians. Yes. They know they are predominantly Christians, so they have played on that. Angela, they played on that. This one is anti-Christian. He's anti-Christian. And when they drive that home over and over, the people begin to think that this person is a demon. It's just not true. And talking about being anti-Christian, let's talk about the herdsmen and farmer clashes. Yes. I'm sure you know that a lot of people are saying that because the president is Fulani, he's refused to come out categorically to criticize, you know, the people perpetuating these activities. What is the official position? You know, what does the president think? Does he believe that these are herdsmen? You know, using the word Fulani there now. What is the strategy going forward? Are we going to continue to see these killings? Because that's another sore point. You're asking 4 questions in one now. That's why we must take them one by one. Okay. You're asking 4 questions in one. The first one is the narrative. Yes. The narrative that we must halt, that has been going on over and over. Which is? Because he is a Fulani president. Yes. And so some people with warped mind will think that the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will close his door and call people into the room and tell them, go and arm these Fulani men. They need to kill. Now they are my people. Go and encourage them. Or don't say anything about their killing. Hold on. Let them kill. Or encourage them or arm them. This is the picture created in the minds of some gullible Nigerians. That the president sits somewhere. It is so wicked. And ignores it. And ignores it. It's so wicked. It's so satanic. It's so political that it wants to make me vomit. That people will sit down and hatch this kind of thing because of politics. Let me tell you this. And because you are dragging me to an area I don't want to go, which is comparative analysis. Because once you ask a question that this is going on now, it is like it has just started now. I don't want to go to that area of comparative analysis because it is very puerile, it is immoral to begin to compare, oh, there's a failure at this time, there's a failure at this time, there's a failure at this time. Because lives are lost. Because lives are lost. So I will not feel comfortable comparing anything. I want to go to the solutions directly because if you want to compare, If we want to compare, I will tell you that this problem started way back before Buhari, even in 2010. Tom said so, and said it escalated in 2010, even though it has been there. I did not say so, he said so. If we want to go there, I don't want to go there.
Tom being the governor of Benue State, yes.
Even if I don't, like I said, I don't want to go there, but if I want to go there, I will tell you that in 2014 alone, 1,200 people were killed by Fulani herdsmen. But it was buried either in page 2, page 5, or page 10 of newspapers. The report is there. Google it. I want people to pick their phones and Google Fulani herdsmen killing 2014. 1,200 were killed. I don't want to go there. But you are dragging me there because of comparative analysis. It is immoral to go there. I will also remind you, if I want to go there, that a serving senator and a member of the House of Rep was killed by Fulani herdsmen under Jonathan. They were killed, by Fulani under Jonathan. I don't want to go there. I just want to go to solutions. And the solution now is that the president has said, look, any Fulani man seen with a weapon, arrest him, prosecute him, make sure he goes to jail, disarm all of them. He's the first president to have said so in the history of Nigeria. He's the first president. I want you to Google whether any president said anything about Fulani herdsmen before, or herdsmen. I want you to Google, people to Google, you will see that images was no image found. Google whether put any past presidents there and say against Fulani herdsmen when they were in office. You will see that no image is found. Google PNB, what he said about Fulani herdsmen. You will see all the stories will come out. And he will tell you that he said, go after them. Anyone you see, disarm them, prosecute them, arrest them. But at that time, people's brain have been turned. Some people's brain have been turned already. So what he's saying, they don't enter. They say, no, it's a Fulani man. He's a Fulani man. He's a Fulani man. That is the story they are pushing for political purpose. And some say, declare them. Declare them terrorists. Declare them. How can you, for example, Igbo traders are known to be very hardworking, beautiful. They are some of the movers of our economy. Some of them are 419 though. Just like some Yorubas are 419, some Hausa are 419. But some traders will tell you they will sell fake products to you. Some Igbo traders, but not majority of them, just a tiny bit of them, will sell fake products to you, anywhere you go, and you say, oh, Igbo men. And then you will now tell me as president to label all Igbo traders as 419. Fulani herdsmen are traders. They are farmers. They are people who are engaged in legitimate business. I hope you realize that. Legitimate business. Some of them now decided to carry arms. Some of them now decided to go outside the normal, means of keeping their cows safe, and they decided to carry arms. And I, as the president, will not come and say all Fulani herdsmen are terrorists. I just gave you an example with the Igbo traders now. Will you do that as president? So, because of ethnic balancing, you say, well, because you have declared these people as terrorists, you must balance it. And the president will now be drawn all over the place by people who are trying to direct his steps. A president of Nigeria does not behave that way. He looks at the facts from a bird's eye view and takes a decision for the good of the country. Not that people will dragging him here, balance things as all costs. He's not a balancer. He's a man who takes decisions. A president should take decisions based on the facts and the equity of the matter. So it is not right. It is wicked. It is satanic to say he has not done anything. Now let me tell you what is being put in place now, because the most important thing are the solutions. In terms of security, Boko Haram is not occupying any territory again. They are only blowing bombs here and there once in a while. Suicide bombers. Nobody can do anything about it. It happens in America, happens in London, everywhere. Suicide bombers, you can't stop them. Now, in terms of doing concrete things, which is what I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about history. I don't want to talk about comparative analysis. 3 air bases, some of the ones with the quickest response time ever, the Air Force, have been established now in Taraba, in Benue, and in Plateau State right now as we speak. Troops have been moved to Benin Gwari that has been having a lot of problems of late. Troops have been moved there. An extra police establishments have been established there. Police station also have been established in Benin Gwari. So you have moved in a lot of troops to Benin Gwari. So you can see that as time goes on, you will see that it will begin to drop significantly. Once in a while we hear it. Once in a while until it finally stops. Until it finally stops, once in a while we will hear it. So I want people not to think that, oh well, you moving troops here, you moving them, no killing will happen again. We pray it does not happen. We are not pessimistic. We hope it does not happen. But once in a while, but I will assure you that the numbers are going to drop significantly as time, because all of these efforts are going on right now as we speak. And the government though may have been caught unawares the first time, because the problem came from nowhere.
Yes.
At a point, they didn't know they were going to politicize the matter like this. And I'll tell you one small politics happening with this crisis. There is also the political part of it. If you notice very carefully, when any of these killings, one life is important, whether it's one or two, it's very important, so we should be outraged by it. But if it happens, no matter how one or two happens, within the areas where you have heavy Christian domination, like Benue, Taraba and all that, you will see the headlines. I want people to know this today so that they will know what is happening to their minds. You will see the headlines. They will say, Fulani herdsmen invade village, kill 3. They don't know whether it is Fulani herdsmen. They don't know where they came from. They didn't see them. They don't know they have not caught them. It's just like the ones that they said went to kill the priests. The other time. Very unfortunate and very outrageous incident. Very outrageous and incident. But it was all the headlines that Fulani herdsmen invade church. And you ask yourself, are the Catholic priests farmers? But you are carrying headlines, Fulani herdsmen, because they want to incite religious war. Because they know that these are Muslims against Christians. And when they caught the people, they've arrested them. What happened? Were they Fulanis? They were thief militias that confessed to the killings. They were thief militias, but you have carried headlines everywhere, Fulani herdsmen killed, because they are Christian areas. So people are pushing this agenda. They want to ignite religious war. But when it happens in Zamfara, heavy Muslim areas, I want you to go back and look at the headlines. People should Google all the killings that happen in Zamfara and some of them. You will see most of those headlines. Bandits kill 7 in Zamfara. They won't say it's Fulani herdsmen this time. They will say bandits. They will lead with that story. Bandits. They will drop it from Fulani herdsmen. Why? Because they have an agenda they are pursuing in this country. Nigerians should be wise. They should open their ears and eyes to some of these manipulations happening. It's our duty to keep telling them that they are pushing us to where we don't want to go. I want to see a situation, these Christians, my brothers who are protesting, I want to see them arm in arm. I want to join them with imams, with sheikhs, with Muslim leaders, Christian, hand in hand, protesting the killings of Nigerians.
Irrespective.
Not Christians, not Muslims. I want to see them hold hand in hand. Christians, Muslim leaders, they will march to the streets of Abuja. I want to march with them. They should not push a religious agenda because more Muslims have died than Christians. It is wrong to count dead bodies, but that is the truth. That is the truth. There is no religious war going on anywhere in Nigeria. No religious war going on anywhere in Nigeria.
Join us again after the break. Welcome back. My concluding moments now with FESTUS KEYAMO. I want to take you back to London, April 2018, the 18th of April to be precise, and the president's words allegedly where he said Nigerian youths are lazy.
That is where I'll stop you in your tracks.
No, I want to tell you what exactly he said.
No, hey, okay, don't say lazy.
I want to tell you what exactly
what he said.
Says.
No, I told
he
you
says,
we're going to be combative on this.
Yes, we
so
have
if you
a very...
don't correctly,
no,
I will not answer.
Let me tell you what he said.
Yes.
We have a very young population. More than 60% of the population is below the age of 30. A lot of them have not been to school, and they are claiming that Nigeria has been an oil-producing country. Therefore, they should sit and do nothing and get housing, healthcare, and education free. End of quote.
Beautiful.
Okay, if he didn't say exactly those words, lazy, what other synonym will best be used?
Uneducated Nigerians, youths, uneducated youths who want free money, not educated ones. You and I'm using that in generic terms. You and I, and the Facebookers, and the Twitters, and the Instagrammers that have taken it off their heads. They know how to speak good English and write good English. Are they the ones they're talking to? I'm asking you now, those who did not go to school, are they the ones they're talking to? That is how mischievous they have become.
Yes.
You see, President Buhari, because of his clear-cut anti-corruption posture, because his clear policy on direction as to where he's going and those he's going against, they have singled him out. And they know he's our greatest product we have to market. So the only way to defeat the APC is to demarket that product. And so they'll be chipping off at him. Chip him off. Just kill this product. Kill him. To just reduce his stature. And so they keep saying these lies and twisting statements up and down to reduce his stature. But guess what? Nigerians know better. Because it's just a small band of people doing this. Those who wasted our yesterday, who want to return today. Those who will tell you that yesterday was better than today, but it's a lie. They want to return and deplete our resources again.
Things were better.
He did not say
before
so.
2015. You know, things appeared
Angela,
to be better.
Angela, ask them. I want you to ask them. Why was the Naira 225 to $1 as at May 29, 2015 when they handed over? Ask them to answer that critical question. What has begun to happen to the economy on that day when the thing dropped? The Naira began to collapse. When they handed over, the engine of the car was already almost packing up. Ask them, Angela. I want you to ask them, anytime you ask them, why were 19 or so or 20 states not able to pay salaries as at the time they handed over, and they were owing 4 or 5 months salaries. States were owing, they could not get money from the federation account. Ask them, they must answer you. If they say they left a good economy, ask them why was it like that on that day when they handed over? States were owing salaries. Ask them to tell you. Ask them to tell you why on that day the foreign reserves had dropped from 60-something, Obasanjo left, or 50-something, had dropped to $29 billion. Ask them what happened. Why did they draw on the foreign reserves? Ask them. They must answer you. If they say they handed over a big economy, ask them why the situations were like this on that day. They need an answer. The Nigerian people need an answer. I want to confront them on this issue. They must answer the Nigerian people. If they want to say that Buhari caused recession, but recession does not happen overnight. Ask them these critical questions. Why was the economy on this knife edge on that day when they handed over? Ask them also, why did Okonjo-Iweala begin to warn in 2013 that we are in trouble? We're heading for trouble. Ask them why Sanusi said so in 2014. In 2015, that whoever takes over power in 2015 will see what economic crisis is. Ask them why Soludo said the same thing. Ask them, they should answer you.
But the thing is, that's another point. People hate this administration, keeps talking about Goodluck Jonathan. That was why we wanted change. We voted for change.
I am not presidential spokesman that will just say, come and talk about achievements of government. I want to demarcate those people who want to take over for my principal. So I am not presidential spokesman in the villa that you say that concentrate on your achievements of this government. Yes. My job is to tell people that those people, mine is a competitive race. I hope you know that. Mine is on your mark, set, go. And you tie my hand and tie my leg and say the other person you have two hands and 2 legs to run, and you tie one of my hand and tie one of my leg. You say I should not talk about their record, but they want to run with me again. But you say I should talk only about my record. What kind of injustice is that? What kind of race is that? We will talk about them because they want to take over again. Don't you understand me? Those sets of people who bastardize the economy like that, they are the ones singing and dancing everywhere with umbrella that they want to come back. They are the ones. So you talk about your record, I will talk about my record. I am not here for presidential spokesman. I'm not here. I'm here for the race.
What do you say to those who think that this president's integrity has been rubbished and eroded?
No, that is in their mind, in their bedroom. They are listening to only their voices. They are not listening to the voice of Nigerians. You see what happened in Kaduna recently? Kaduna, that they said that heavens had fallen in Kaduna.
Yes. I
want to pay tribute to Malam Nasir El-Rufai. I want to pay tribute to him. He put his heart in the ring and they said, let us do it fair and fair. Despite all the noise they were making in Kaduna, that all the shites will bring down the government there. El Zazaki problem was there. Don't forget that. All the 3 senators against him were in Kaduna. All the 3 senators against him in Kaduna. The teachers' problem was there in Kaduna. Yeah. They said that is the end of El-Rufai. But the man said, let us do it free and fair. Let us hear the real voice of the people. Not those voices.
That's the local government election.
Yes, local government election. Let us hear the real voices. Not the voices on Facebook and Twitter. Let us, on social media voice, let us hear the voices of the people on the street. And they did it free and fair. Let's do electronic voting.
Yes.
What happened? It was a landslide victory. Those are the real people talking. That's a taste of what will come in 2019. You will hear the voices of Nigerians loud and clear. You think they don't know what's going on? You think they are fools? Wait for their voices in 2019 with their PVCs. You'll be shocked. The president will do far better than he did in 2015. This time is going to be landslide. Whoever has any doubt should come and take a bet with me.
You don't think his age and his health will be critical factors going into this election?
Ronald Reagan was one of the best presidents America produced. Till today, he had 68% rating. He was elected when he was 70, re-elected when he was 74, left power close to 80. The present American president is a young man. He was elected at the age of 70. He's about 71, going to 72 now. So what are we talking about? I cited the example of Morgan Tsvangirai. in Zimbabwe.
Yes.
Was a much younger man to Robert Mugabe and abused him about his age and age over and over and said he should leave power, he will soon die in power. What happened? He died at the age of 65. Robert Mugabe is even wanted to contest this election at the age of 94. Those are the mysterious ways of God. Don't talk about age and health. Don't, because you will incur the wrath of God. You will incur the wrath of God.
Do Nigerians deserve
Sani
to know
Abacha, was he old? Was he sick? He dropped dead one day, just one day. He dropped dead.
Don't Nigerians deserve to know the state of the president's health?
He said he's okay. They know the state already. He said the doctor said he's fit. So they know the state already. He's going to take part in democracy walk. You see him jumping all over the place.
Yes.
Didn't you? They don't want to see all of that. They don't want to see the crowds in Jigawa, in Kano, in Bauchi, in Jos, in Plateau. They don't want to see all those crowds. They want to close their eyes and say, oh, let this man just die. But we have a living God. Angela, we have a living God.
I just want to read.
He'll be there in 2019. He will hand over in 2023. Hale and hearty.
Will he hand over to an Igbo president? People are saying that's a way to woo the Igbos onto his side.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. It's God that knows. But I know they deserve it. I know they deserve it.
The Igbos,
I know they deserve it. But only God will tell. But I know they deserve it.
Let me read to you something you said recently. Quote, President Muhammadu Buhari earned $54 billion in 3 years, bailed out states, constructed railways in double standard gauge, expanded Second Niger Bridge from 2 kilometers to 7 kilometers, embarked on mass housing, reconstructing major roads across the country, and still raised the foreign reserves by 100%. End of quote. You've said all that, and then people say, why then are we still borrowing if we've been able to recover all these monies from looters? We're saving money when we need critical money for critical infrastructure. How do we reconcile those two things?
The economists will tell you that you can't draw down on your savings to the last kobo. There are very clear advantages because you won't come out of recession if you don't have anything in the reserves and then you are waiting to get money from oil and you want to carry out developmental projects. Nobody's going to wait for you.
Yes.
Nobody's going to wait for you. So that is of course clearly advantageous. All these projects, most of the projects happening now in the East and some part of the country, they are from the Sukuk Fund. And this, you know the Sukuk Fund, the advantage of it,
Fund.
the Islamic Fund, you know, it doesn't attract the kind of normal interest rates that the World Bank, you know, loans will attract. It's almost interest free. It's like an investment fund for them. So it is also very clever. We must applaud the government for thinking of, you know.
Does it have anything to do with Islamizing us, taking that Sukuk fund? So
the roads in the East now, they are for Islamic people. If you are hungry, your children are hungry, it will bother you who borrows you money, whether it's a Muslim or a Christian. People are just being silly in this country. Permit me to use that word. And excuse me that I'm using that word. They're just being very silly where you take money from. So since we have been taking monies from largely Christian countries, like America and all of that, they didn't complain. And then look at the massive social, you know, investment program that the government has. You know, there are 4 cardinal, you know, social investment program in this heat of austerity, and it's massive. No government has ever undertaken such massive. Of course, there has been, so don't misquote me. There some social intervention funds in the past, but none has been so ambitious and so massive for critical areas. You know, the government enterprise and empowerment scheme. They give between 50,000 to 250,000 naira to traders to boost their trade, and then almost interest free. Of course, you know the fund transfer they do. They give 5,000 to the very poor, to say, look, just have something every month, so it won't drive them to areas of desperation. And you know, of course, the school feeding program also. And those funds they are giving out, they have given about 300,000 to each. The government, the enterprise and empowerment program, and of course the other one too. Empower. The Empower is different. The Empower is the 4th one. The Empower empowers graduates and trains graduates in technical skills. Graduates who just thought they go and wear and ties and sit in the office and suits. He trains them. He trains them in technical aspects of work, different types of jobs, and then they'll now give them equipment. After training them, they say, well, you want to do welding, you want to do shoe, anything to bring in money. A starter pack. Say, look, you take and go and start. Go and start up, free of charge. Go and start up. They have given 200,000 now. Another 300,000 have undergone, screening, about to be trained and empowered also. Very ambitious programs to make sure that they don't get to the precipice of hunger.
Do people have to be members of the president's party to benefit from this?
You know, the Empower was just launched in Enugu and Abia. You saw it yourself last week. I mean, those are heavy PDP states. So what are we talking about? Angela, the greatest bias is for you to hate somebody that you don't know, you've not heard about.
Yes.
Now you've just heard about it. Love him.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keyamo, for coming on 60 Minutes with me. I think you are really a round peg in a round hole with this appointment, Director of Strategic Communication for the Buhari 2019 re-election bid. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. I'm Angela Ajitumobi.